one time she was praying and then she was like, Amma, you are there, you are making up your mind that you're not going to get married. God is telling you that it is your marriage that is going to bring a breakthrough. So please make up your mind and take this marriage thing serious. I think that was when I personally started praying about marriage.
Nice. So far, there are some points that I noted. The kind of marriages that you see around you are going to give you a perception of marriage, and that is also going to affect your decision to get married, or even how you are going to do marriage in the future. So for the singles listening to us, it's very important that you intentionally place yourself in environments where you see model marriages, godly marriages. Because believe it or not, you may not even feel it right now, but when it's going to get to that point where you want to get married, those things you've seen before are going to affect your decision. And even if you get to get married without dealing with it, it's going to affect how you're going to do marriage. Okay, so this is one of the points that I noted. Secondly, your relationship with God is important. It's the foundation upon which you are going to build any other thing in your life. So do not jump to want to get married if you haven't, first of all, built your relationship with God. Once she built a relationship with God, that's wrong perception about marriage that she had began to go away. God dealt with her and her heart was open to receive love from a man. You need to love God first of all before you want to, get a man to love you, or you want to love a man. Okay, so these are the 2 points that I've noted so far. So I'm going to move on to my next question, which maybe it's not going to be that relevant looking at what you've told us so far, but let's just start from that point where you were like, okay, I'm going to get married, and you began to be exposed to good marriages around you. As a single woman, what kind of picture did you have of your own marriage? Because when you're single, you're like, when I get married, this is how my marriage is going to look like. You have all these beautiful pictures. Sometimes they look like telenovelas, to be honest. Like, you have these pictures of how you and your partner are going to live and all of that. So what was the picture you had of your own marriage now at this point? And how did that change when you got married? Or was it just as you felt it would be?
Okay. So I didn't really have a picture in mind, like this is what my marriage should be. So like this is what I'm expecting. But what I was thinking of, or what I had in mind was my marriage is going to work. Whatever it takes is going to work. So I have a book. I wrote inside the ideal man, some of the qualities or some of the qualities I would want in a man, and then how I would want my home to be. Like anytime someone visits my house, the person should feel comfortable in the atmosphere.
And you also wanted a marriage. Yes, you wanted a marriage that would give people a good picture of what a marriage should be like.
Like when we are outside, when we are walking outside, someone should just look at us and then say, oh. And then funny enough, this very thing I just spoke about, I get people saying it a lot, and then I get so happy that that
what I
prayer actually is answered. So the first thing was I told myself that I'm going to, whatever it is, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work. So it was the number one thing I had in mind. Even though I was praying, because of how I grew up, I was still like emotional. Yes, I usually get emotional. I usually get depressed, but I've really worked on that, and then by God's grace, it's not. I don't really feel that. And then I usually cry. You know me. I usually cry. Like, so I was actually praying for someone who would help me overcome that. Assuming someone who is emotional, someone who easily cry, you easily get depressed, and then you have a husband who is not ready to make you laugh, who is not ready to
yeah.
How is it going to be? You won't be happy in your marriage. And then if you are not happy, that is when people will see, and then they will be like, hey, nah, Is this how marriage is all about? Like the way I saw others, and then I didn't want to be in that. So I made up my mind that it is going to work. And even though I was praying for all these nice qualities, I told myself that even if I marry someone who doesn't laugh, who doesn't smile, I have to make it a point. There should be something that should happen that will make that man change. Yes.
I love that because you did not leave the responsibility on your future partner. You did not say, okay, if it does this, then the marriage is going to work. You also took the like you basically took the responsibility and told yourself, I'm going to do what it takes to make the marriage work. I love this. This is very, very instructive. And I feel like this is so important to mention, because you know that the idea of marriage that a lot of people have out there, especially when you watch a lot of movies where they portray like the ideal couple and all of that, it makes it look like marriage is not work. But the truth is, marriage is work. And if you do not enter with the mindset of I'm going to make my marriage work, you are not going to make it, because at the slightest problem, difficulty, you're like, I'm out. I'm out. And this is what is happening now. So I really love that you entered marriage with that mindset, and also that you told yourself you are going to work on yourself so that you ensure your marriage. This is very important. So how has it been? How is marriage like?
Wow. Okay.
How is it?
I would say marriage has been wonderful. It's always like it's fresh. It's always like we got married yesterday. We are humans. Sometimes you get angry. Sometimes it's not even your husband that has made you angry. Maybe you are tired from doing house chores, doing this, your kid, especially when the kids are around boys. And then sometimes he comes around and he's even asking you a question and you are angry.
Yeah.
You might not be angry at him or with him, but as the situation around or what you are going through.
Yeah.
So there are little challenges. Those are the little ones. But like I said earlier on, both of us have made up our mind that our marriages, funny enough, he also had it in mind that his marriage is going to be like heaven on earth. His marriage is going to be an example. Like we had a lot of things in common. He had his own book. He had his own book that he had written certain things inside. I got the opportunity to read it, and then I was laughing. And he was like, wow, like this point, like we had a lot of things in common. So it was it's like easier. I remember one time in the office, my HR manager, she saw us in a car on a weekend. Like she saw us twice. I think she saw us on Saturday, and then she saw us on Sunday also. Like we were chatting in the car, laughing. So on Monday morning, she was like, "Ulu Kunti, Moham, like, do you quarrel?" I was like, I had to sit and then think.
I know, right?
Like actually, the day she asked me that question, that was when I remembered couples do quarrel.
Yeah.
But
your attention is
it's
not on
not
those
even
things.
there.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had to stand and then think. No, I have never remembered, like never. It has never happened. Like my husband is somebody you can't even get angry at. Whilst you are angry waiting for him to come so that justice will happen. By the time you even see his face, the facial expression and then what he will say, he will forget about what you are even about to say or what you plan. Yes, it will fail. So last time I told him, like, why is it so difficult to get angry at you?
And this is what you pray for.
Yes.
You're like, I want someone who will make me laugh. Someone, like your prayers actually because even when you want to get angry, you are not able to get angry because your partner doesn't make it easy for you to get angry.
So this thing I always say that my marriage drew me very closer to God. These are some of the things. So sometimes I sit and then think about all those things and then I say, thank you, God.
God is so faithful. This point just made me think about how important it is for you to depend on God for your life partner, because God is the best matchmaker. You know how personally, I usually tell people I'm not so into writing down a list of things you want in your partner. I'm rather pro just depend on God, because God will give you beyond what you even think you need. Just imagine that after writing those things, you are now working by sight. Like, you're now trying to get a man that will fit the description. You most likely even just make a mistake. But by depending on God, God has answered your prayer and done even beyond what you asked Him. So this is very important. While you are praying, like while you are waiting to get married, ensure that you depend on God for it to lead you. I want to ask how she got to know that her husband was the one. But then I have plans for that question. But maybe she can just give us an idea, just an idea. Because you guys, I have plans for that question, and definitely I'll bring it to pass. So, but let's just have an idea how you knew your husband was the one. Some people dream, like they have dreams when they see them themselves. But how was yours?
So before you ask that question, you want a little idea?
I just want to don't give them too much. So that one will come later.
So let me give you this. You know, my husband was not my friend. And then if someone had told me that this would be the man he would marry, I'm sure I would have said something bad to that person. Because you don't, my husband is this kind of guy. I call him a pastor's kid. Like, all the pastors I knew, they loved this man. You know, he loves God, and he loves to do things for God. He was in the orchestra. If this, like, I heard of stories when he was very young, and then he would stand in front of this whole mass choir and then be conducting, and then people like, hey, you go for parties and then you'll be singing, and this man will come, soprano, more shit, you know. Soprano, you're not singing anywhere, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm like, but this guy, so we were not friends. Like, I don't know if I should say I didn't really like him. Yes. Ever since I got to know him, I never had his number. Like, we were not even friends. I remember after the proposal and everything, and then we started coaching, I was like, do you know, I never liked you. And then he
like,
was surprised.
you were not even one of the people that was.
And then pastors will be preaching, and then they'll be mentioning his name. Like, you see, you know, he was too, let me say, he was too good, and they really like him. So I'm like,
So it means that you did not even consider him.
No, he was like, I didn't actually have a list of people. I didn't have anyone in mind.
But he didn't look like the kind of man that.
No. And then funny enough, he was not even in Accra. And I didn't even know his whereabouts. I didn't know he was in Accra. I wasn't seeing him around during practice time and all those things. But I didn't even care to ask about him. Where is he? I didn't even know. So I think this is what came before you.
So guys, I know there are still so many questions to ask, but as I said, I have plans. So in another video, you're going to hear all about how she knew that her husband was the one. So you want to stay tuned for that one. But before you go, I want to take her last word. So do you have anything to say to our single women who are looking forward to getting married tomorrow?
Yes. I was talking to one of my cousins recently. She wanted to, like, she's actually ready, and then she wants to. So she came to me to talk to me, and then, like I told her, I'm like, the first thing you should ask yourself is, are you ready? After you are ready, the rest, talk to God about it. Listen, it got to a point, I'll bring 2 chairs in my room, sit on one, and then literally say, God, sit here. And I'll be talking. I remember one time, my mom woke up in the middle of the night and she was like, are you okay? Because it didn't look like I was praying. She thought I was on the phone with somebody, talking with the person. Like, this marriage, because of the things you hear about marriages and then what I saw around, I was very serious with my marriage. I was very serious.
Marriage is serious business.
Pray to God. Like, let everything be prayer. Whatever you want in a man, instead of you looking with your physical eye, tall, this and that, pray about it rather. And then the God I said, the God I believe in, I know He is going to give whoever you deserve. And hashtag the one he kept for me.
I know,
He's
right?
keeping
I always
one
see
for
that
you.
hashtag.
He's keeping one for you. He's keeping that brother for you. So please pray. And then also always make up your mind that it is going to work. You are going to make it work, and then it will work. It will definitely work.
Alright, so thank you very much for tuning into my channel today. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you click on that subscribe button and also turn on post notifications, because I have a lot of videos coming up and you definitely do not want to miss out on any of them. It's been a nice time just chatting, getting to know some more about Mavis, about how she spent her single years and how she transitioned from being single to being married. Until next time, stay tuned and stay well. Bye guys.